What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you stopping by for the first time, if you see something that you like here today, please don't forget to subscribe at some point. Those of you stopping by that have been here before, welcome back to TLTG Reviews, my friends. Glad you came to see me. So it's that time of the week, and for this past week's rotation, it was actually quite a few fragrances that are very signature scent worthy, as it turns out. So let's get in week number 38. Stay tuned.
Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
So starting off on Sunday is actually very new to the rotation. I've featured it a few times so far on the channel in the past week because it actually has shocked me ever since my first impressions that I did exclusively on Instagram. I thought it was kind of meh, but turns out it's a great compliment getter, and it really grew on me as time progressed. It's Ralph Lauren Polo Red Eau de Parfum, newest release. Actually, gets better and better as you wear it. I found myself enjoying the smell more and more. Now, I still prefer Polo Red Intense, don't get me wrong, but this adds a different dimension. It's fresher and not as sweet, I find. It's a little deeper as far as being full-bodied and dense, but doesn't project as heavy, at least it seemed like anyways. Lasts just about as long. It actually surprised me quite a bit. Upon initial smell when I first sprayed it, it didn't really wow me, but like I said, as time progressed, it's really growing on me. Stay on the lookout for a full review because, like I said, this is really starting to grow on me quite a bit, and that's Polo Red EDP, the newest release from Ralph Lauren. And then later that evening when I got out the shower, I was in the mood for some ice cold lemonade. No, I didn't go with Dior Homme Cologne. Went the cheaper route. Went with Jimmy Choo Man Ice. It smells just as good. Very weak performer, which is what I like out the shower. Oh man, it smells so good. And that's where this thing's a star. Aside from that beautiful atomizer that you just saw, it's got a gorgeous lemonade smell. Out the shower that night, Jimmy Choo Man Ice. Moving into Monday is one that I have not pulled out in quite a while. It was long overdue. I forgot how much it actually projects off of my skin. Enjoyed every second of smelling it for sure. It's from Colognes, L'Homme Ideal Cologne, the hype beast itself. Yeah, this is another one that you can wear all the time if you really want to. It smells really good. It's a cult classic at this point. Has a very strong following, backup bottle worthy. It's getting harder to find them. Prices went up. You know, last year was the craze to get your hands on them cheap. They were out the rack stores and all that good stuff. I got a backup 50 ml of it myself, but definitely sad that it's discontinued because it is a really good fragrance. It's a decent performer for being so citrus heavy with that creamy almond dry down. It really has a uniqueness to it. Not too many things really smell like this. To my nose, I haven't smelled anything else that smells like it. I'm sure there's something out there, but it's absolutely a fantastic fragrance that I thoroughly enjoyed wearing that I just haven't worn in a while. That's Colognes L'Homme Ideal Cool. And then later when I got out the shower that night, I still got a little bit of Cremo Blue Cedar and Cypress shower gel left because I got so many shower gels and bars of soap going on. It's crazy. So I figured, well, since I was using that shower gel, might as well bust out the fragrance. I haven't wore this, and you see the dent I've put in that, but I just haven't worn it in a while. If you like them green and you like them loud, it's synthetic. Don't get me wrong, super synthetic, but it's pleasant. You know, if you like cypress heavy fragrances that are, you know, woody and cypress and very green, you don't mind it being synthetic, you might like this one. You can find them at Target, different places that carry Cremo fragrances. It's readily available. It's like $22.99 if I remember correctly. 100 milliliter bottle. One of the better fragrances, and it layers really well with some of their other products. They have bars of soap, this scent. They have shower gels, this scent. And it's fantastic out the shower. That's Cremo, Blue Cedar and Cypress. Moving into Tuesday is something that I've gotten in recently that I'm going to be honest with you. It's dirtier vetiver than I like. You guys know I like a clean vetiver, and the opening was off-putting for me. It's from Perfumes. It's Zaharoff. Yes, it's another one of those gorgeous bottles from the Fita collection. The opening, not a fan. My wife said, wow, that smells like outside. That was her response, because the opening is strong and dark. Very dark and dirty vetiver. I thought, wow, I'm gonna hate this. This is not gonna work out. Very sad. Finally found something I don't like from Kajal. But lo and behold, if you give it about 10 minutes and let that opening calm down, the transition and dry down on this thing is signature scent worthy, for sure. It's gorgeous. When the rosemary and the vetiver really start to separate themselves, because the bergamot's very, very, very bitter. And that's what was really doing it to me in the opening. It was super bitter with the flower notes and stuff like that. It just, the blend in the opening was just too off-putting and strong for me. But the dry down, my God, is this a beautiful dry down. An intoxicating smell for hours. When you catch a whiff of it, it just comes back to life. You'll forget about it for a little while, and then you'll catch a whiff and, ooh, I forgot I was wearing that. The transition and dry down on Zaharoff is next level for a vetiver lover, for sure. And like I've told you before, many times before, for those of you that have been watching for a little while, I don't like dirty vetivers. They are off-putting to me. They don't smell right on my skin. And when I smelled the opening of this on my skin, I thought, wow, what a waste. Luckily, gave it a few minutes, and it really, really worked out. I ended up wearing it the next day to work and loved it. Actually, even refreshed when I didn't need to, just to really get that heart going again. You had to go through that opening again, but the heart and dry down is just absolutely gorgeous on this. And once again, that's Zaharoff from Kajal Perfumes. Vetiver lovers, check this one out. And then when I got out the shower that night, it was time for a good shave, and I went with my Zaharoff Emperor shave soap. So of course that means the Emperor aftershave splash, inspired by aventus, a very fruity batch of aventus. Smells fantastic, good skin feel, very cheap price point. These are like 13 bucks, and the soap's like 10 or 11 bucks. You know, you can get, it's a really good, you know, way to dip your toe into the wet shaving hobby and practice, because you're gonna go down the rabbit hole and get a lot of things once you get into it. And this was one of the first things I got, was the set from Zaharoff, and Emperor smells fantastic. Very, very close to a pineapple heavy, less smoky batch of aventus. And that was my shave after the shower that night. So moving into Wednesday was actually 3 fragrances, because Wednesday was my day off, and on my day off I go to the gym in the morning, fasted. So I wanted to wear something to the gym because I've been hitting the cardio pretty hard, so I need a fragrance. You know, we'll put it at that. The BO starts kicking when you put 2.5 hours hard training in at the gym. You definitely need a fragrance, you know. And I figured, you know what? Something I haven't worn since I got, that I just tested one time. It's kind of projection heavy, why not? From 3-in-1 Parfums, I went with their hybrid, Illicit Sauvage, which is their version of mixing Elysium with Dior Sauvage. As you can guess by the name, Illicit Sauvage. This stuff projects. I sprayed the back of my sleeveless hoodie, the front of my sleeveless hoodie, and the top of each forearm, because it was sleeveless. It was just, and my skin heated up and got sweaty, and it was just project. I must have had a scent bubble as far as my arms could reach going around me. Definitely louder than I would suggest for the gym, but smells really, really, really good. Check out 3-in-1 Parfums. I'll actually link their Facebook group below if you guys want to check them out. And then when I got out the shower after I got home was my fragrance for the rest of the day. One that I haven't worn in a while that I really thoroughly enjoy. One of the few fragrances that has a coconut note that I actually enjoy, and that's from Dolce & Gabbana. It's Light Blue Sun. Another one just smells great. Light blue DNA with some coconut, essentially. Gives the sunscreen vibe without being overbearing and too much sunscreen. And performs pretty well. 6 to 7 hours, and projects pretty heavy for that first hour and a half. At least off of my skin anyways. Decent performer for what it is, and it just smells great. It's the limited edition flanker to the line for last year. Strongly advise you get your hands on a bottle of this. I think it smells great. Fantastic release for last year. And then later that evening, before bed, I just had to switch it up. After Light Blue Sun had wore off, I actually went with a shower gel scent. Beverly Hills Polo Club Blue. It's basically Polo Sport but it just smells like shower gel, essentially. That's it. That's what it smells through and through. Doesn't perform that well. Perfect for before bed. Out the shower that night, Beverly Hills Polo Club, blue. Moving into Thursday, fans of this fragrance are just flat out fans of this fragrance. Nobody really talks about it much anymore, but those that know, you just know. It's from Givenchy. Gentlemen Only. Fantastic fragrance. Definitely another one. Signature scent worthy. Beautiful, beautiful scent. Decent performer. I actually ended up refreshing. I get about 7 hours. It sits pretty close to the skin the last 2 to 3 hours. About 3 hours of its life on my skin. So sometime in that range is when I'll usually refresh when I do pull this one out. And man, I'll tell you what, I love the opening on this one. The transition all the way through the dry down. It's a beautiful scent. Is it a beast mode performer? No, but it's fantastic for the office. It's great with a suit. It's great in a polo shirt, an Oxford. You know, you can wear it casually, but this is definitely a fantastic work fragrance that doesn't really get any love anymore. And I tend to forget I have it sometimes, don't get me wrong, but I do like to pull it out from time to time because it just smells so good, in my opinion. And on Thursday, Givenchy Gentlemen Only. And then when I got out the shower that night, my absolute favorite, Nautica Classic. I don't know what I can say about this fragrance that I haven't said already on this channel, so we'll just move on into the next day. Moving into Friday, I was super excited to get my hands on this one. This is the newest release from Viktor and Rolf, Spice Bomb Night Vision Eau de Parfum. And after spending time with this one, I had a nice aura all day. I didn't get Spice Bomb Extreme Projection. I got kind of a little better than Spice Bomb, original Spice Bomb type of projection, a little bit better than Night Vision projection, where it was pretty heavy at first, and then I had this moderate, not mild, but moderate scent bubble for hours and hours and hours and hours, and it just seemed to never fade. 10-hour mark, I'm still smelling it coming off of my chest at the gym that evening. And look, it was 100, it felt like 109 that day, and I was pretty busy. I kept having to go outside. I was sweating, my head got sunburned, everything. So I was full effect in the South Texas heat with this fragrance. This stuff does perfectly fine in the summer. Don't let Fragrantica ratings and things like that make you think this is a winter and fall fragrance and, you know, maybe early spring. You can wear this thing year round. It is definitely strong enough for the cold, but I can justify and vouch for the fact that this thing does perfectly fine in the summer. And I did 3, 4, 5, and then 1 on my shirt. So I did 6 sprays, and I did not have to refresh. It went all day and then some till I got to my shower later that evening. I think this stuff is signature scent worthy. This smells fantastic. It's not as spicy as you would think for the spices that are in it. It's so well blended that not a whole lot really jumps out at you, but the nutty notes in this and the pistachio and all just add some depth to this that it didn't have before. This is such a better release than Night Vision Eau de Toilette. And I actually like Night Vision Eau de Toilette, but I'm telling you guys, I know some people are going to want to wait till they can get it discounted, and by all means, I totally understand that. Try this one. I think it's a fantastic release from the house. Kudos, Viktor and Rolf. I'm loving this fragrance. And then later that night when I got out the shower, it was time for another shave, and I had went by Marshall's the day before and actually came across these, and they're so cheap, it was absolutely worth it. And since I wore Spice Bomb that day, I said, well, let's do a different version of Spice Bomb that night. So I had to shave, and I got the aftershave splash for Beverly Hills Polo Club Blaze, which is a clone of Spice Bomb, the original. And I have the matching beard oil. This was $7 and $5. Worth every penny. Smell fantastic. Do the scents last long? No. That's where the beard oil came in. It lasts longer than the splash, obviously. But these are cheap. Be on the lookout at the rack stores. These are out. They're cheap, and they smell fantastic. Out the shower that night after a shave, Beverly Hills Polo Club Blaze, aftershave splash, and beard oil. And finally, on Saturday, on game day, another one I haven't pulled out in a long time that is absolutely another one that is signature scent worthy. It's a signature scent for a lot of guys. Has been for years. It's from Dolce & Gabbana. Dolce & Gabbana Pour Homme. Does it perform like the original did with the sticker? from 94? No, this is the 2012 to newer. I'm sure it's been reformulated a few times since then as well. I get about 5 to 6 hours. It sits pretty close to the skin, and then I refresh. I absolutely refreshed that day. I was just in the mood for it, you know? It's a beautiful barbershop fragrance with that dry tobacco in the dry down, that beautiful soapy lavender up top. It's just such a great fragrance. It still is. You can't convince me otherwise. It doesn't perform that great. It performs modest and moderate. You know, it's okay, but it's definitely signature scent worthy. Works in all seasons. You can spray it for any occasion, dress it up, dress it down. It's extremely versatile. You can get them so cheap nowadays. I just enjoyed wearing it. I hadn't worn it in a while. I saw it sitting on my shelf, so why not? I'm gonna wear that on game day. That was Dolce & Gabbana. Pour Homme. And then later that night when I got out the shower, I saw it, I grabbed it, I sprayed it. Hollister Wave 2. Had me smelling like Invictus Aqua, essentially. Love the way it smells. You can find this one out at the rack stores on a regular basis. And you can always find them online. Super cheap and a really good one at that. Hollister Wave 2. Well guys, that was the rotation, and until next time, do me a real quick favor, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Do appreciate all the feedback. I love hearing from you guys. It wasn't planned that it was a bunch of fragrances that just work as everyday signature scents that can kind of go year round. It just kind of shook out that way. Aside from Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Sun, all of these can be worn year round as a signature scent. You can dress them up, dress them down, all of them. Granted, this is my opinions. You have to try things for yourself and see what works for you. This is just my advices and my opinions. If it helps you, great. If not, hopefully we can find something that will work for you. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on any of the fragrances discussed here today and you give them a spray now, really good chance you'll thank me later. Have a good one, guys.
Drill.